Hello, welcome to Wisdom Snippets. For this week, my name is Peter, and it is my pleasure to come your way with another edition of Wisdom Snippets. Now, this week, I want to talk to us about wisdom and responsibility. Wisdom and responsibility, one of the easiest manifestations of wisdom, or one of the features or characteristics of wise people, is that they take responsibility for their actions and the events in their lives. They do not just externalize the causes. They do not, for example, blame their situation on external factors. So when people are quick to blame their situations, their circumstances on external factors, they are invariably saying they are not wise as far as that issue is concerned or that situation is concerned. So the reason I'm saying that is you cannot always control external factors. You cannot always control what people do for you or to you or against you, but you can always control how you respond to their conduct or how you respond to such. You cannot always control what happens externally, but you can always control how you respond to such. So, for example, you cannot control downturn in the economy, structural changes. If that leads, for example, to your job, your loss of job, don't now spend all your life blaming your boss for not liking you, or blaming the government for introducing one policy that doesn't favor you, or blaming the system that will just not let you prosper, or you cannot get a job. Don't just blame everybody except yourself. Don't just blame office politics. Don't just blame maybe some forces that are against you, or even ill health. Don't just be quick to blame somebody for some maybe for not giving you balanced diet, or for the food processing company not taking care of their customers or their consumers, and all sorts of things like that. Don't blame your children, your spouse for your problem, your predicament. Learn to accept responsibility, that regardless of what happens to you, you have the responsibility for your life. You need to accept responsibility and not externalize the causes or externalize the problem, that if not for X I will not be in this situation. So I remember I had a job one time like that, and I felt I wasn't treated properly, and when I was leaving the company or the organization, I told myself that I don't blame them for taking advantage of me. I blame myself for not knowing better, right? So on that basis, I said, don't blame people if they take advantage of you. Blame yourself for maybe not knowing better. Blame yourself for probably being ignorant or being too quick to trust people. Don't just blame a system for being against you. In the same system, or there are people that are doing well. So wise people understand this, that they are responsible for their choices or the decisions they make or do not make, and they act on that basis, because ultimately the Bible says each one will stand before God to give account of their lives. God will not ask you ultimately that, it was because, or maybe exempt you, or that it was because of the country that you live in that you didn't maybe fulfill your potential, or it was because your parents didn't send you to a particular school or whatever like that. No, there are things that people do for you or against you that will affect you, no doubt about that. But you have the responsibility to turn even such things, even if they are negative, to your advantage. It's just like two people raised by or coming from a dysfunctional family, and one of them went on to be a successful person, the other one went on just to live the life of a nobody. They asked the first person, how did you manage to do it? He said, I came from a very terrible background, so I had no choice than to work hard and become what I've become. The other person, they asked him as well, say, I had no choice. I came from a very terrible background. So what do you expect me to become? So what that is telling you is that it's not the background outrightly that determine what the individuals became, but their choices. One being responsible for their life, and the other person just letting things happen to them. So like somebody said, don't just let things happen to you, you also happen to things. That is a way of saying you also make things happen for yourself. And the first step to doing that is by being responsible for our choices and our decisions, and not just blaming or externalizing whatever problems that we may face. You cannot control external events. You cannot control what people do to you or for you or against you, but you can always control yourself. And ultimately, you are responsible for the choices and the decisions that you make or you don't make. So wise people understand this and they use this to their advantage. I hope that has inspired you as you go about this new week. That people may not help you, but you help yourself. People may not be there for you, you be there for yourself. People may not do things that you want them to do for you, but you do the things that will propel you towards a bright future or a life of fulfillment. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you. And remember, your success in life is too sure with God.